ready? Fight!
Talk about signed talent. You must have a black belt or be signed to Bellator or the UFC. That is the only way to find yourself into Submission Underground. Marques currently signed UFC. Guys, there was a story. Marques had a brown belt for 9 years. He could not get to his black belt. Coach just did not elevate him. He did receive his black belt. I think when I told you this story earlier that I left that part out, but he did get to his black belt a year ago. Marques on top, Checco on bottom. Checco with MMA aspirations of his own. He's been ever so close to signing with the Bellator organization. Thought he was going to have his opportunity. Ended up between opponents and the ins and outs. He didn't get it. Danilo trained every day for many years with Damian Maia, the great Damian Maia and the great Fabricio Verdum. Danilo's in a bit of a pickle right here. He's going to need a little bit of space. All right, he can rotate. He can just rotate and take that position away completely if he's flexible enough. Checco not ready to let this go. Now, Checco's going to need to move from here. I see many guys get to this position, and then they get comfortable. You can't be comfortable here. Just because you got a bend in the knee of your opponent, you're not any closer to a submission. As soon as you come below that joint, you need to fully be thinking about reversal. And we'll see so many athletes get to that same position that Checco did and respond the way Checco did, which is to miss the fact that the submission is now gone. I must sit up. I must get to his waist. I must create a scramble. Marques being patient here. Danilo Marques, guys, I've got a YouTube channel. Go to my YouTube channel when you have a free moment. We made a very special piece on Danilo Marques. Shot at King's MMA. We were invited by Coach Rafael Cadero. Went in and made a feature. It's just a couple of minutes. But it'll be hard for you to watch that and not become a Marques fan. Marques being very composed out here. I will tell you, he's being very patient. This is not a conditioning issue. Sometimes you'll see guys do this and they'll try to hide a lack of conditioning with strategy. That's not what's happening right now. Marques had 110 boxing matches. By the way, if you're giving stats on a guy, 110 boxing matches, my goodness. 110 training camps, 110 weigh-ins, 110 ring walks. Oh, Checco coming underneath here. If he can get a good lock, he can make this very uncomfortable. Checco trying to create space. Danilo Marques pressing in. A lot of times you'll see one of these athletes, guys, put their hands on the ground. I'm seeing Marques has done that a couple of times. The basic rule in jiu-jitsu is don't put your hands on the ground because the ground is not attacking you. Any jiu-jitsu gym you go in, any coach you're working with, they'll use that same expression. Don't put your hands on the mat. The mat's not attacking you. So when Danilo does that, when somebody at this level does that, it's generally bait. Danilo's well aware the ground's not attacking him. He's well aware he doesn't need to put his hands on the ground. If he does that, he's trying to get a reaction from his opponent, in this case, Checco. Now, I am generally right on that. Every now and then, a guy makes a mistake. Boy, the composure of Marques here. He looks as though he's a savvy guy that's looking to invoke the overtime rules. I'm hesitant to tell you guys that only because it is his Submission Underground debut, and I don't know how familiar he is with the overtime rules, but it looks as though he is looking to keep as much energy as he can and wait till that toss of the coin comes up and then elect either an arm or the back. Either way, Danilo Marques has greatly slowed this match. Checco's not letting it affect him. Checco is still going for action here.
10 seconds.
But there's a lot of work that was done by Checco. So you're asking yourself those things. As the athlete, Where is it worth it? Where do I want to spend my energy?
Bring it up. You guys go back to the corners.
Break in the action. Oh, how are you? How are you? Okay, I'll walk over here. You go that way.
Gabriel, you have blue.
Referee Dave Hagen comes up blue, which is Checco. Checco defers. Danilo Marques will attempt his first offense of this contest when he takes the back of his opponent, Gabriel Checco.
Get his. Get his. Hey, you can get yours. You can get yours. But let him
The
get
top of the first stanza here.
his. And you guys both
Pulling
ready?
back.
What?
Pulling back.
What? You were pulling back. Let him have his head above his spine. Ready? Go!
All right, Checco with an explosive movement. Marques holding him. Marques is one of those strengths I can tell by looking at him where he feels really strong. It doesn't necessarily mean he can go bench press more than his opponent can, but when you've got that kind of length, when you have that kind of leverage, I talked about he used to train with Verdum. That's something Verdum has. Everybody that fights Verdum talks about how strong he is. But I don't know that Verdum's going to go power clean 300 pounds over his head. He's just long and he knows how to use it.
Back to the ground. Go.
Danilo Marques being diligent here. Danilo looks like he's thinking armbar. Yeah, setup that Verdum, speaking of Fabricio has made this setup into an armbar famous. He will take your back, make you think your neck's in jeopardy. He'll swing into an armbar. It's a risky game, though, because if those hips get free and the referee does not believe that you're instantly into a catch, he can break the action. Yeah, Danilo's thinking armbar. Not now. Checco's put all the weight on that side. Danilo's not going to be able to get that leg free. Checco trying to get his shoulders and his back to the mat. If he can do that right there, he's out. Checco's out. When you talk about you must control your opponent to keep that position, to further or extend that thought, you must control your opponent's hips. It is solely the hips. If there is a differential between the hips of the starting position and where you get to, that is when the referee will break the action. Had over a minute there by Checco. Now it's, I apologize, that would favor Marques. 127 for Marques. Checco's going to need to move here. This submission's not going to work. He's not going to find a submission here. Marques has already buried his chin. Now, as I say that, he's adjusting his lock at least a little bit. Very strong by Checco, but perfect defense by Marques. Face crank by Gabriel. Right back to trying for a submission by Gabriel. Right back to bothering the chin. Notice Checco's arms. Just notice how busy they are. He comes underneath the chin. That is a very rare submission. That's called a five-finger submission. We will show that on the replay. A very interesting lock by Checco. That is a big win. I don't know what you said, but I swear it sounds like Cheo. I mean, was that a shout? Is that a shout out to me, or was that Portuguese that I didn't understand? Either way, big win. Gabriel Checco just took out Danilo Marques. Very big victory. Tell us, Kevin Keeney.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner by submission due to rear naked choke at 48 seconds in the bottom half of overtime round number 1, Gabriel Checco!